Stone Detective and the case of the mysterious efflorescence. The fog crept in like a smokescreen as I sauntered over to my favorite greasy spoon. Desperate for a cup of joe and a conversation with the Admiral, I pushed open the diner's door. Flo was deep in conversation with the Admiral, but when she spotted me, she chimed in. There was a dame in here earlier asking for you, and she left a note. That struck me as peculiar. Usually I receive phone calls or perhaps a starry-eyed fan seeking my autograph, LOL. You see, they call me the Stone Detective, a private eye with a gift for unraveling the hidden secrets of stone, tile, and concrete. My curiosity piqued. I opened the note and found myself face to face with a perplexing case that would push my sleuthing skills to the limit. The note had sad themes and talked about a concrete paver that had a mysterious disease called efflorescence. I knew I had to dig deep to get to the bottom of this case. I also couldn't help but wonder how the unknown sender knew that I was hanging out at this diner. I took out my phone, typed in the address, and started walking with a cup of coffee in my hand. When I got to the house, I looked at the concrete patio, which was getting dirty with a layer of white deposits. They called it efflorescence, a magical curse that turned a beautiful paver into a mess. I got down on my knees and ran my fingers over the rough surface, looking at every feature closely. The powdery residue was an obvious sign of trouble that didn't make sense. With a scowl of suspicion etched upon my face, I approached the homeowner, a certain Mrs. Sinclair. Her perplexed facial expression spoke volumes. She was just as clueless as I was. But experience had taught me not to put my trust in anyone. To crack this case, I needed answers, and I needed them now. As I looked into the mystery more, I heard rumors about a local builder who used strange chemicals to make concrete look like marble, a strange liquid that can change the very nature of stone and concrete. I went up to Mrs. Sinclair because my gut told me to, and my eyes cut through the fog of anxiety. Her face twitched, which showed how much guilt she felt. The truth then came out all at once, like a dam breaking. She admitted to hiring this contractor, giving in to his sales pitch, and putting his liquid mixture on the paver in an unsuccessful attempt to make it look like marble. But alas, the attempt at art failed. It set off a chain reaction that sent an unholy flood of powder onto the path she loved. I had seen my fair share of secrets, but this one dared to go against everything I knew to be true. Now that I knew who did it, I told Sinclair in no uncertain terms how dangerous it is to mess with things you don't know much about and how important it is to get help from pros. My last thing was to suggest a skilled stonemason who could fix the problem and make Sinclair's pavers look like it did before. As I turned away from the scene, I felt the weight of having solved yet another puzzle. Even though the streets were still covered in fog, justice had won. The Stone Detective would always be there to protect stones, tile, and concrete and their mysteries, keeping an eye out for anyone who might try to upset their peace. Before I said goodbye, I turned around and asked her how she knew I often ate at the diner. She went into the kitchen with a sly smile and came back a few minutes later with a copy of the Slippery Rock Gazette. Oh, what power the press has. The dame had been reading the industry's newspaper to keep track of where I was. Another case solved, but my curiosity got the better of me. I couldn't resist a playful remark. Seems you've become quite the detective yourself, Mrs. Sinclair, I quipped, reaching into my pocket. I pulled out a pen and a small notepad, scribbling my name upon it. Here, as a token of appreciation for your assistance in cracking this confounding case, an autograph from the renowned Stone Detective. She chuckled and graciously accepted the autograph, her eyes gleaming with a mix of relief and gratitude. Thank you, Stone Detective, she said, her voice filled with genuine warmth. You've not only solved the mystery, but also taught me a valuable lesson. I tipped my fedora and felt happy that I had done a good job. I'm glad you liked it, Mrs. Sinclair. Remember, you can always count on the Stone Detective when it comes to stone masonry and secrets. Then I left, leaving Mrs. Sinclair to put her path back to how it used to look.